Hey everyone, it's Amber at Amber K. Boyd, attorney at law, giving you your legal tea. This week we're going to talk about pay and pay disparity. I don't know if you guys know, but if you follow me on LinkedIn or if you follow me on any other form of social media, Instagram and Facebook, then you know that we posted yesterday that because yesterday was Black Women's Equal Pay Day. And what that means is that yesterday, September 21st, was the amount of time that an African American woman took to earn the same amount of compensation that their white male counterpart earned last year. And that's because Black women earn about 62 to 58 cents compared to their white male counterparts dollar. So that means if an African American, I'll change it. If a white male earns $100,000, that means that the African American woman earns about $62,000. So that's a huge difference in pay. You're easily looking at around 38,000 to 40,000, $42,000 worth of difference in pay, right? And so we know, what could you do with that much money? That's a substantial amount of money. I mean, you could live somewhere in a different neighborhood. You could pay for your kids to go to private school or pay for your kids' vacation. You could save for retirement. You could really, you could live a great life for your children and for your family, um, and for yourself, right? What Black woman or what woman does not want to take a vacation? Go get her nails done, go to the spa, things of that nature. Really focus on themselves as well, to pour into themselves. So to get their self care, those are things that Black women are not getting an opportunity to do because the pay disparity is so great. And so, really, what we want to do is make sure we can close that gap as much as possible. The track we're on, we won't be able to close the gap for another 200 years. That's insane to me, but that's just the track we're on. But there are some things that we can do to see if we can make sure that we're doing our part, not only us as employees or but also as also employers. So one thing that I have seen recently is California has just passed a law stating that employers have to publish all salaries. And I think that's a fantastic idea. I think that's something that needs to be done. So that's something that we all as citizens, we can talk to our legislature and say, hey, this should be a law because this is a pay disparity and it's impacting the citizens of this state. So you can do that. Also, what we can do is make sure we as women are negotiating our salary. And that could be a two-edged sword. I mean, I do believe you always should negotiate your salary. However, I think that sometimes when we talk about negotiating salary, we miss a part of it as well of how we are perceived when we negotiate, right? So when we negotiate our salary, are we perceived as someone who's very difficult or someone who's demanding? Whereas our white male counterpart could be seen as somebody who's savvy, right? Who knows his worth. And is that those abilities and that those attributes are seen as positive instead of negative in terms instead of as negative towards a Black woman. So that's also something that we deal with and people are dealing with as well. But we are the Amber K. Boyd Attorney Law, the law firm. We are going to actually host a negotiation boot camp. We're going to host that next month. We're still trying to figure out the date regarding that because I do want to make sure that if we can do something, right, we can make sure we have the tools to negotiate our salary and to close that pay disparity, then we are doing what we need to do so. Also, I want to talk to you all about just the pay, what you can do if you find out that you're being paid differently than your white male counterpart. I did get some questions regarding that via my LinkedIn. Like, what do you do? Like, what I do if I find out I'm getting paid differently? I mean, the first thing you do is you contact HR, you contact your manager and say, hey, I found out this person, right? Tom, Bill, Harry, whatever. We do the same job. He's being paid more than me. We need to look into this. If the job decides, yeah, we can look into it, but we're not going to do anything about it, you can file a lawsuit. You can file a lawsuit not only if there's a race claim under Title VII, also Section 1981, also the Equal Pay Act as well. The Lilly Ledbetter Act lets you kind of go back retroactively significantly, 3 years if it's willful. The Section 1981 can go back 4 years. Title VII allows you to go back up 300 days. So the statute of limitations is pretty long. So if you believe you're suffering from pay disparity, then you definitely have recourse legally to make sure you close that gap. Now, with that being said, right, if that does happen, right, and you're dealing with that, then you also have to understand that there may be some backlash to that. Backlash not only from requesting that you get paid equally, but also if you do then file a lawsuit. So I typically find that there's some retaliation that also comes into play with that, with you representing yourself and with you standing up and advocating for yourself. So I always wanted to make sure that you're traversing those waters as best as possible. So that's why I always tell people, when you document this request, make sure you try to put it in writing. Try to have a communication with them where you don't have to say necessarily it's about race or it's about gender. You can really just use language of just comparison, comparing yourself to the other individual. That's going to be enough. And then when you do that, forward that email to your personal account. Um, People are always surprised when they find out how much employers lie. And I'm an employer, y'all. I employ people. However, I found doing this work that employers will lie on employee, and it's really good for employee to have documentation regarding their communication with their employer. It's very, very helpful to do so. Because as I always say, people lie, but the documents can speaks for itself. And so we definitely want to make sure we have documentation that speaks for itself. Also, what I want to talk to you all about is just making sure that you all are staying on top of your communication with your employer just in general. I posted probably last week about making sure that you keep track and keep records of what you're communicating to your boss or to your employer, whether that's good or bad. Making sure you're documenting that correctly. So making sure you're including who, if there's an incident that occurs, and who is a part of that incident, when did that incident occur, who are the players involved, what was their position. Also want to make sure you always keep your performance evaluations. Y'all, seriously, keep your performance evaluations. No, like I want to pause. Like, I'm like, really get that in your spirit. Keep your performance evaluations. There's too many times that I'm talking to potential clients, and no one has a copy of the performance evaluation. Y'all, this is where you are. This is your performance. Have a copy of your performance evaluation in your file. If you get a corrective action, have that corrective action in your file. There's no reason why you don't have a full copy of your full file of your personnel file. You should have those things. You should be keeping track of those things. Okay? Like, please do so. Also, again, make sure you document any complaints that you may have with your employer. And also, we cannot work with our heads in the sand. We have to make sure that we are paying attention to what's going on around us. That means that if our coworker did the same thing that we did and they weren't written up, that you're keeping track of that. Our coworker did something really, really bad, then you keep track of that. It's not that you're the ops. It's not that you're trying to be their surveillance on your coworkers. It's because you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself too. Time and time again, I hear, I just go to work. I just go to work, do my job. I just go home. No, it's time out for that. We have to be able to go to work, look around, find a friend, get somebody who can be your friend, get somebody who can be your work buddy, and know what's going on at the job. You have to be able to do that. It's not enough to just say, I just go to work. I don't know what's going on with anyone. That's not going to help me when I'm trying to prove your case. And these are things that are pretty good, great cases. It seems like a good case. So I just need to know, do people typically do this? Is this normal? If I'm getting, I don't know, because I just, go to work. I don't even pay attention to anyone else. No, time out for that. And the last thing is, and this is something that I have said before, but I saw it also on in a Facebook group. Hire an attorney if you do not know what you're doing. And typically, if you're not an attorney, you need to hire one. I know we are all smart. I know we all have access to Google. I know we have access to the library. I know we have access to documents that we found online. I know we talk to our friends, but there is a reason why attorneys go to school for 3 years and pass a bar and then represent clients. There's a reason for that. Hire an attorney so you do not get yourself in a situation that you cannot get yourself out of. I just talked to someone yesterday and she has an EEOC, has a great case, but she's representing herself and she knows the other side has an attorney. But if you know they have an attorney, you need to make sure you have an attorney. Like you can't bring a pen to a gunfight. Like bring a gun, like get an attorney who knows what they're doing. So that means that you need to make sure that attorney practices that area law. That means you have to go to their website and Google them and say, do they practice employment law, or is this some PI firm who's just going to try this case? No, you don't want to be that attorney's guinea pig. Go see what does this attorney actually do? What does this attorney actually practice? And then make a decision from there. Contact multiple attorneys. Interview us. It's okay. Interview us. Pick the best one for you, and pick the best one based on can they help you, not based on how much money they're going to charge you. And that goes for not just employment law. That goes for other areas of law, estate planning, divorces. Divorces. Do not do your own divorce. Please, please do not do your own divorce. Find an attorney to help you do your divorce. But that's my soapbox, because y'all are not. Every so often I tell y'all this, and I say it not because I want me and my friends to make more money. I do want us to make more money, but not because of that, but because you really hurt yourself when you don't do it. Then you have to hire an attorney, you have to pay more, and you got to fix up stuff, or if there's things that you just cannot fix, and now you're saying that, hey, I'm in a world full of trouble, and I don't want that to happen to you all. Okay. I'm off my soapbox. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and please share it. And as always, enjoy your lunch break. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.